all 800 pounds. And they're found in the Delaware River and also up in the Hudson River. They're found all the way from Maine all the way down to Florida. And they are endangered. They were overfished back in the 50s. They used their eggs for caviar. So they were overfished. At one time, the Delaware River was one of the caviar capitals of the United States. They had an abundant amount of sturgeon, and they actually had factories right there where they would process the fish. So they are making a comeback. It's a slow comeback, but they are making a comeback, and you still can find them. But if you do catch one, of course, you got to throw it back. Now, we just acquired these two sturgeon probably 2 months ago. Previously, we had one large one. Unfortunately, he died on us. And I used to hand feed him. He would come up to the corner here, and he would take the shrimp right out of my hand. But these babies, what I'll do, I'll put some fruit in the net, and I'll take it down to the bottom so they get food. Because you'll see when I feed the rest of the fish, especially the trout, they grab everything in sight, and they won't get enough to eat. So I will take some food down to the bottom with the net. Now I'll move up a little bit. We have 4 different kind of bass, and I'll start out with our hybrid striped bass. They're hybrids. They're half white bass and half striper. Stripers are a very common fish in this area. They're more of a saltwater fish. The hybrids are more freshwater, and this being a freshwater tank, that's why we have our hybrid stripers. Now you can tell the difference. The hybrids have broken stripes on the side, and the true striper would have perfect stripes running across. Then we also have a couple of white bass in there that look similar to the stripers, a little bit smaller, and they don't have the prevalent stripes running across. We also have a couple smallmouth bass. Now the smallmouth bass have a reddish eye. There's one right here. They have a reddish eye and a tannish color. And the largemouth bass are the other ones. They're gray with a stripe down the side. And that's the easiest way to tell the difference. We do have one largemouth in particular. He's over 12 pounds. Not sure where he is at the moment. You can't miss him when he comes by. He's over the state record at size of weight. I think that's him right there, going towards the back. But you can't miss him. He's over the state record at size of weight, and he had a broken jaw when we got him. That fish was donated to the store, and unfortunately the guy held him up for a fish and broke the jaw of the fish. So we got him, he didn't eat for 2 weeks, sent him out and had an x-ray, see what was going on, and he had a broken jaw. So our base camp, which is our headquarters, they said, because of the size of the fish, let's see if we can do something about it. So they actually put a rod in his jaw, and 2 months later they took the rod out. And since then he's put on well over a pound. Last time we weighed him was last November. He was 12 pounds 1 ounce. Now the state record in New Jersey is 10 pounds 14 ounces, so he's actually larger than the state record. Then I'll move up a little bit to our, well, the one main guy, I'm trying to look for him right now. He's a northern pike. He's right there in the middle. He's a long, skinny one. That's the most ferocious fish we have in the tank. He's towards the bottom there, right? What's wrong? He's usually a darker color, but because he's been in the tank, he kind of lost some of his color. They're usually more of a green color. Kind of look like pickerels. In this area we have pickerel. He's actually a northern pike, very ferocious fish. Get up to 40 pounds in weight fish. The ones with the stripe, the yellow color with the dark stripe, are actually yellow perch. We have some black crappie. They have that spot, black spots on them. They're a panfish. They're flat right there. And then we have a couple sunnies, and I think that's about it. So I'm going to start feeding them. They're hungry. When I turn that waterfall off, they do know it's time to eat. And I'll throw most of the food towards the back because they do jump. Oh, I forgot one fish right here. He's called a walleye. And he's a funny looking fish. He's staring at me right here above the rock. He's got those funny eyes. His eyes actually face the wall. opposite of being cross-eyed. And they actually are reflective, so if you were to shine a light in a pond at night, you'd see where they're at, and their eyes would glow back at you. And they're found way up in the northern part of New Jersey. So I'm going to start feeding them. Anybody want to count to 3? 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
You can see they're very aggressive. It's kind of a funny thing to see because I know when I'm not trout fishing, I don't get a bite all day long. They come in here and they're like ferocious.
Oh.
So that you also see why I have to feed the bottom feeders. I'll take the net down because they grab everything. Now they all do get enough food. We have a professional named Dirk who comes in on Monday and Fridays. Mondays he usually scuba dives the tank. What he'll do while he's in there, he'll actually inspect all the fish. If he sees any unusual marks or growths on them, or if they just don't look right, he'll take them out and put them in quarantine until they look healthy again. He'll give them medicine or whatever needs to be done. He also does some small surgeries on them. That one fish I was talking about with the big jaw, that's actually a growth he has growing on the end. They remove that once, it's growing back. But they do little things like that. They'll actually do autopsies when they do lose the fish. Try to find out what the cause was. And he basically, what he does also, he portions out how much food I give him. Because one of the worst things you can do for any aquarium, even a home aquarium, is to overfeed your fish. Because what happens, food that they don't eat will actually rot in the tank, become like ammonia, and it will make the other fish very sick. So it looks like I haven't given them much, but believe me, they get enough food. We do feed them 5 days a week. We feed them more heavy. Usually 2 of those days they get fed a lot more. But he monitors how much food we give them. He also monitors the amount of chemicals that go in the tank. Now I'm going to take down the rest down to the bottom for the bottom feeders. Excuse me. And the other fish are catching on to this. When we first got our sturgeon, I first started doing this, they didn't really know what was going on, but now they try to get in the net as it's going towards the bottom. And sometimes I'll get a fish caught in the net. So believe it or not, I learned one thing, fish are smarter than you think they are. Especially the sturgeon, that's been around since the dinosaur age. And the older one we had, like I said, I actually taught him to come up to the corner and take the shrimp right out of my hand.
Ooh.
So I'll try to get this down close to the bottom. I think he'll get some of it. Now the catfish are getting an extra amount of food because before we had the sturgeon, we didn't actually bottom feed. The catfish got plenty of food. What they do, they'll actually eat around the rocks. They'll pick the rocks up in their mouth and eat around the rocks. Where the sturgeon, they got, their mouth is like a tube and it comes out about 4 inches and they like whole food. They'll like small shrimp and crustaceans. So they're a little bit different. So anybody have any questions or anything? That's about it, guys. As far as feeding goes. Any questions? All right, thanks for coming.